Hello, buddy. How are you? Today is Monday, February the 7th, 2022. And I didn't record for like 4 days, I think. Yeah, the last day I remember it was the 2nd of February. And but the thing is that we went to the beach, and even though I took my camera with me just in case, I just didn't have the time. And as I told you many times, I'm always split between the idea of, well, enjoying the moment, enjoying what happens with you, and recording it, like saying something about it. And, well, I call me selfish, but I want just to be with you, and that's what I prefer. So if some things I just forget recalling them, well, so be it. But I'm just going to make a quick recap of the last few days. And every time we go to the beaches, it's beautiful. I get to see a completely different side of you, and of course, you most likely get to see a different side of me. We can be together pretty much 24/7, which is something I enjoy very much. And I just, I like showing you the beach. I like showing you the sea, what is to be out there. And even I can't take many risks because you're just too little. I cannot put a life jacket on you. There's just too many limitations. And mom is not really good at in water. So that really limits what we can do. But anyway, the fun starts from when we're leaving, and then we're on the road in just playing with you and repeating the song you choose for 20 or 30 or 40 times, and it's all nice. And then you fall asleep, and then you wake up. You're really patient when we go on road trips. We've been like 4 or 5 hours sometimes on the road, and you're cool. I mean, you don't get crazy, you don't get desperate. Maybe later you will, but just right now, and since you were born, you have been the coolest of kids when it comes to traveling. And still, you don't like touching the sand, you don't like putting your feet on the ground. So that's quite good, actually, because we laid down some mat, and then we know you're going nowhere. So I first took mommy on a board. I do stand-up paddling, right? And we left you there. But I mean, we were like 10 minutes away from you. And I was just like showing mommy, just taking her around, and you were just there. Then I took the board, and I went actually very far, because the first day there was no wind at all. There was pretty much no waves, which is quite unusual. It usually indicates a change of season. So probably this is the beginning of, but I'm not sure, because normally it's 2 or 3 days like that indicate that the new season has arrived. But this is, I believe, is too early to start getting hotter than it is today. But anyway, so I went like 6 kilometers away, right? And then I came back, and mommy was telling me that you were yelling like, da, da, like crazy. This is something I enjoy very much nowadays. You're vocalizing a lot. And when you don't like something, when you want to be heard, when you want something to change, like either for me to repeat the song again, or I'm taking away something that you are enjoying playing with, or something like that, then you I was telling your mommy that you sound like a chipmunk with rabies. And you're like, you start. I cannot replicate the sound, because first it's too high up, and then I'm going to wake up everyone. Well, I will be waking you up, and now you're sleeping in the room. So it's so it's just nice to be on the beach. And then I put mommy and you on a board, and I was just like pushing you guys, right? And you relax more and more every day. Then I went with you, to the water, and I love that part, because You don't let go. You get really, really close to daddy, and you're like this, like glued to me. And then I just get to give you a lot of kisses, and that's perfect for daddy. And yeah, just I love that part. Then something really beautiful happened the first night we were in the hotel. For the first time, you were aware of the stars. There was only a couple of stars because Pattaya is, well, we were close to that area, and it's very, very lit area, so it's not easy to see stars. But you saw one, and what's super cute about it is that you were trying to reach for it, and you weren't going on your tiptoes, and just like you were sure you could grab it, and you did it more than once. You did it many times. So first was the fact that you actually noticed there was a tiny thing bright there, right in the on the sky, and second, your innocence, your limitless perception of reality that leads you to believe that you can touch it if if you could just stretch out a little bit more, just a little bit farther, you could grab that thing and bring it down. I had one experience like that. Obviously, I was older than you for sure, and I was in Australia. I remember being like couple of 100 kilometers away from everything. So the night was completely dark, and it was very, very dry day, no humidity. We were not too close to the beach, so the stars really did look like you could reach them, and you could see the sky like bending, like if it was a sphere, like we were contained by a dome. It was so amazing that I felt that it was only a few meters away, all those stars, but the ones at the top and the ones on the sides really close to the horizon looked equidistant. They looked exactly the same distance. I have never had that feeling again. Never before, never after. It was a beautiful night in Australia, I remember. I don't remember the name of the place. Definitely no idea. It was a camp, so it was really cool. Anyway, but that was absolutely beautiful. Then just when we wake up in a new place, you like playing a lot. You're excited. You usually have problems falling asleep in any new place because you're curious. You want to play. You want to see, and it's not easy to sleep. In the next morning, and for the last few days, you have been playing that. It's like if mommy is like like something like dangerous, something you have to run away from, you get close to her, and then you just run away from her and come straight to my arms, like if I'm going to save you. So it's nice. I like that game. And the fact that your favorite word, well, you only have two words. One is papa, and the other one is fish. That you are more like is, right? And yeah. So it is a beautiful couple of nights, almost 3 days on the beach, and I got to do a lot of SUP. Nice, beautiful. Then we came back, and one thing is that you found a minion, and I don't have it here. I don't know where it is, but it's like a teddy bear kind of thing, but minion, right? And you fell in love with it, and you were taking it everywhere with you, and we gave it food and we gave it water, and then you kept playing with it. And it's funny how you react to things as if they had always been there. You grab the thing of the day as if it was the most precious thing ever. And then the next day you change it for another one. But it's always with the same freshness, with all the same innocence, and you hug them like you love them so much, yet you have been around those things for minutes, right? For just so little time. Yet you have this capacity of love, and that it's truly beautiful, and also of letting go, right? And one thing we have problems with is that when we are adults, we like something, we get it. Unfortunately, we get attached to that something. So when that something has to go, or it's not there anymore, we suffer. But you don't. You just find something, you appreciate it to its totality, and then you let it go the next second. So it's not true that that bad comes with it good, or the other way around. Like, it's good as long as we are not attached, as long as we don't want to prolong it. We don't want to stretch something in time when that something doesn't just belong to that time anymore. We wouldn't have the counterpart. I mean, it would be only good, right? But we get attached, and then we do everything we can in our power not to let go. But our power is never enough, because that's the nature of this world, of this realm, this reality, right? So we have to let go. Yeah. Then what else? Then we went straight to the restaurant, and you were playing, and then you hit yourself really, really, really badly against one of the corners of a table. But it was really hard, because you hit yourself with this part which is kind of soft, right, on your head. And even that sounded really like nasty. I was like, ew. So I just went and hacked you. And the first thing, I just hacked you. I didn't say anything. Just, no, oh, poor thing. No, just like I hacked you. And then you turned your face to mommy. You didn't do anything. But when you saw your mommy, and mommy had the face of like, oh, my poor son is going to die. That moment you said, eh. And that moment I told mommy, stop it. Don't look at him like that. So she changed her face. In that second, you stopped the beginning of the crying. And you stayed that way. I mean, I never told you not to cry. I didn't tell you anything about your behavior because, well, maybe if I were in your position, I would be crying myself, right? But what I didn't want was that you see yourself reflected in mommy's eyes and you pity yourself. This is something that I find fundamental in the way that I'm raising you, right? I want you to be reflected with maturity. I want you to, not validate, but we are in relationship to others. I mean, when we are young, we don't know anything about ourselves, but that which we sense from other people reacting to us. So for that matter, for me, it's extremely important that you don't see reactions of like hysterical reactions. You don't see reactions of overprotection. You don't see like, oh, poor little baby, are you okay? No, none of that. I also try to limit as much as I can all this. Be careful, be careful. Honestly, I understand mommy and I understand every father and every mother that keeps telling their kids to be careful, because when you are young, man, you are so vulnerable. It's incredible. Yet you are extremely resilient. This is something we fail to understand, that when we are babies, nature has equipped us with so many mechanisms of survival, right? Like your bones are way more flexible. A lot of trauma that would be quite very bad for an adult is not as bad in a baby, right? So it's not that we shouldn't be careful. Of course we should. But we also have to understand that you guys are so resilient, and therefore we have to trust that nature has given you to survive. And if we constantly keep yelling and telling every single step of the way of everything you do, like, be careful, be careful, be careful, then we really start creating kids that are useless. The thing is this: last time I was in Mexico, I was in a park here, and I was doing some bar work, like pull-ups and this kind of stuff, and I saw all these women. Some of them were obviously the mothers of all these kids. I was right next to a playground, right? And I saw all these mothers, every step that the child gave, everything, every tiny movement the kids did, mothers were, be careful, look at that, be careful. So, man, I mean, when you're a baby, when you're a toddler, when you're a child, you do without thinking. And I'm not saying that you're just like a stupid, mindless thing. No, it's just like you move without hesitation, without thinking twice, which is what makes us clumsy. You're in the now. When you're very young, you're usually in the now, so you're not doubting yourself. You're not asking yourself, can I do this? Is this dangerous? It's not. You just do things, and because you flow with things, you usually will do well. I mean, you will have the fall, of course, especially when kids get tired. I remember every time that I got tired, I was enjoying myself a lot, but I got tired and I didn't listen to myself, to my body. I knew it was time to stop playing, yet I couldn't stop myself. So next minute, it was the time that I bled and I hit myself and I fell or something bad happened. But it was not inherently the activity, but rather that I was tired and I was just too engaged in the activity to stop. So the thing is, I heard all these mothers and all these grandmothers, because also there was obviously some grandmothers there, and they were constantly reminding the kid of the danger. It's good? Yes, in a way. Every single moment, of course, it's not, because eventually that voice is going to get the child to believe that everything is truly dangerous when it's not. And also, unfortunately, that those mothers and grandmothers were kind of useless themselves. I mean, of course, like, they don't move well, they don't exercise, they stopped, like being physical, like using their bodies, right, and doing stuff decades ago. So they think that the child is as useless, as incapable, as screwed up as they are, and they're not. And so they're making a mistake. And I see this over and over. Parents thinking, oh, don't do that. Don't sit like that because you will hurt. Like, no, you will hurt. You would hurt because you're not because you are old, but because you haven't used your body, because you haven't trained your body to stay supple, to stay strong, to stay flexible, to stay coordinated. So you think, as most adults think, that they just push, they just, believe that their kids are as fucked up as they are, and they're not. So, but then, and honestly, I can tell you this, and God forbid that a Mexican listens to me, or even mommy, because they say like, oh, you don't like Mexicans. It is not about liking or disliking. I like every nation and I dislike every nation. I mean, there's awesome things about everyone and there's terrible things about everyone. And I just happen to point out to both of them equally, and I don't care. But people that are hyper nationalistic, they just don't get this kind of thing. But anyway, overall, you can say that what I've seen, Mexicans are not very good at movement. They are not one of those races that are very gifted physically. And I've been around the world, so I can tell you, like a Kiwi, a New Zealander, is gifted. That's it. A Pacific Islander is gifted, period. A German is usually, not every time, but stronger, or an American, because they have this culture, they have these values that value very much certain traits of physicality, Mexicans don't have that much. So I could see all these kids, even they were kids, they were kind of clumsy if you compare them with kids from other countries. But I didn't pass judgment. It was just like, it was annoying, to be honest, to see all these be careful, be careful, be careful, like time and time and time again, like 100 be carefuls per minute. And then I remember one of those days that I was in the park, because I went there every day for like a few weeks. I saw a kid, and this kid was moving beautifully, really, really, really nice flow, very supple, very confident, very risky as well. He was really taking risks that no other kid in the park was taking or had taken before. And when I heard the mom, well, it's a German mom, so this kid was not bombarded by be carefuls. In fact, the mother was not even looking at him. She was just looking elsewhere, I don't remember what she was doing, but she was sitting in a bench, and the kid was doing whatever he placed on his own. But he never got, probably in his life, all this be careful. It was not drilled in his mind that he had to be careful. Instead, he was able to be skillful, supple, confident. So this is the kind of thing I am practicing in you. And again, believe me, the first 6 months, once you started crawling, yes, be careful. It's just right here, like on the tip of the tongue, like, and because you guys, when you're so young, you want to do everything that is stupid and dangerous. You want to put your fingers on the, like the electric outlet. You want to put your things in, the doors that if they close, they are going to smash your little fingers. You do have this tendency to do everything to auto-destroy yourselves. Yet, I trained myself to stop, like, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. And even I try to be as close as possible to you to prevent something really bad happening. I do have to shut up and believe in you and have trust in like in what what you're doing. I mean, your body knows what it's doing. You actually I can see very well the limits of your body. Even you're so young, I can see that when there's something a bit challenging, you pause and you gauge. And if you think you can, you try. You may fall, but you are very reasonable, that you see something, you see the situation is slightly different or slightly more dangerous than usual. You pause, you gauge, and you decide whether you go for it or not. And sometimes the first thing you do, you see, and you look at daddy and just like, because heck me, I can't. This one I can't. Not today. And then the next day you gauge again, and one day you just boom, do it without any problem. So I'm really, and this is something that I have tried to get mommy to understand. And that day she understood. I said, stop that face. And the moment you stopped, she stopped, you stopped. And that was it. So I want you to be, you have to be a strong, courageous person, because that is the only ground to be a good man. This is something that maybe another day I talk about, but it's extremely important in my belief that you are courageous, that you're brave, that you're strong, that you're aggressive, not violent, aggressive, and that you also learn to be dangerous. This is something I didn't think much about it until I read Jordan Peterson, and even Bruce Lee. He said something similar, right? Like, you have to be dangerous enough, yet you have to be wise enough to know, to not allow yourself to act on how dangerous you are. Because there's nothing worse than a weak person, man or women, doesn't matter. And there's nothing more pernicious than a coward. There's nothing more dangerous than a coward. I don't mind facing anyone, a man, a brave, courageous man, because there's certain rules of engagement, even when things get ugly between two men that are courageous. But with a coward, you don't know, because he may say, no, it's all okay. And then you turn your back and then he stabs you. That's a coward. And that you never know how these kind of people are going to react. So, and there's nothing more lame than a weak man. Really, there's nothing worse than that. So that's all these things, even believe it or not, all these things I gauge on daily basis when I interact with you, because I want to make sure that you have the basics right. So then you can be cool, chilled, relaxed, loving, caring, generous, all the traits of a good man. But only then. First and foremost, you need to be all what I described: courageous, strong, brave. And that will only happen if that is what you reflect on others, and that's what we reflect back to you. So, yeah. Then it's funny. I don't know, where were we? Oh, yeah, we were in the restaurant, and suddenly you started walking backwards. This is the first, so that's what I'm mentioning. You were just walking forward, and suddenly, like I tell you, I see something in your eyes, like a gear just switch it in your mind, and you, at that instant, without any thought or of any kind, without any doubt, without any planning, without any pause, you started just walking backwards. I was like, that's interesting. And then you went forward, and then you came back. Same, backwards. So this is the tiny things I love. And even it's more that change of gear in your mind, what amazes me, what I love to see, than anything else. Another example today. Today, mommy asked for these kind of things. These things are Velcro strips, and you can cut them to the desired size. She bought them so to keep all my cables and all my gear in place, organized. So, but as I have told you, and today we were playing with your cars and with your planes, you love anything that has wheels, anything that resembles a car. And even if it doesn't resemble a car, the Minion, you were using it all the time, whatever you have in your hands, and sometimes without anything, just your hand, you start, you are crazy for cars. And you had a toy, a car, and you were showing me the wheel, and I was selling wheel. And then after a few times, like asking wheel, going, pointing one and then pointing the other one, then you look at this and I was like, so you're asking me, is this a wheel? That kind of gear switch, right? When you are like, okay, this does definitely look like a wheel, if you ask me, but you actually have enough presence of mind to suspect that it's not a wheel, because definitely there's no car. There was no attachment to any car of any kind. You didn't see it spinning in any way. So, but you could make a fair point that this is a wheel. Yet you knew there was something about it that didn't match 100% the description of a wheel, or probably the function of the wheel. I don't know at what level you understand what's your reasoning, but you definitely have one since you were like, okay, what is this, right? Actually, this is a roll, right? This is a wheel. row wheel, and you got it, and you were quite pleased. I guess you were pleased with yourself, being suspicious that this thing was not what it could have been, or what you're accustomed to call, this thing that looks like a tire, and you were able to notice the differences. And then another thing that you did first time is that, again, you fall in love with anything. It can be truly anything, and you just took, for the first time, you usually try to have everything in the hands, right? But this time you put everything against your chest and you carry it like this. That's a first one, right? So a lot of people, I don't know if other people see these kind of things, or if they see what it means, the meaning behind the action. And it's like you already understood that hands may not be enough for you to hold a lot of things, and you understand you're using your body, you're using your chest as a third party that facilitates the carrying, the transportation of objects when they're like multiple objects. To again, like, do other people notice this? I guess so, right? Or do they think it's just common or normal? Unfortunately, I tend to believe the second one, because I never heard people talking about these kind of things ever about their kids. And I'm not like congratulating myself, but I'm like, why? I guess that's why we are unhappy, because we are not aware of the beautiful small things, the small daily miracles that life brings to us. And without them, you could say, oh, well, it's just a normal day, right? But no, it's not normal. These magical things, these tiny miracles, these amazing developments happen today. And I happened to witness them, which makes my days absolutely amazing. Yeah. So, I don't know. Just that, or that is just delusional, and he just puts value in things that don't have it. But no, that definitely is not the case, because at the end of the day, who gives value but the observer? And since it's valuable for me, then it's valuable, period. Well, yeah. This video, even it contains 4 days. It has to be short because I don't know where the battery is. I took the battery to the beach just in case I would record. I didn't record, and I also don't have the battery, so the battery charger either. So I have to be very careful with the live battery. And what else? Well, I would like to share what I'm doing, but probably it will have to be a different video. That is really working hard on his meditation, and amazing things are happening. Amazing stuff is happening. I'm being able to truly heal what happened when I fell like 8 months ago. It was the biggest, hardest accident I've ever had. And I mean, I've had a few, but nothing really serious. And even though this looked not serious, it was extremely serious and extremely damaging. And only now I'm really getting back to normal. And more than that, and a lot of it thanks to the meditations I'm doing, a lot of it thanks to the movement, and I know how to heal myself, and I've been doing it like constantly for the last 8 months. A lot of it has to do with the fact that the last, since even before the accident, I was participating in this extremely mentally demanding projects where I had to sit down and understand extremely complex stuff and make something simple and attractive out of all this complexity without having a proper functional working brain. So all these things together pushed me. And to be honest, when I was in my darkest moments, because I had quite a really bad injury, I didn't hit myself, but just because I was extremely fit, I was able to contain my head and like keep it from smashing against the concrete. But inside, I really like my brain really was smashed against the skull from the inside. Man, it was the I couldn't think. I could not even look straight because I like all my face got deformed. Actually, I got extreme damage. I couldn't think. I couldn't look straight. I couldn't speak much because all this had so much trauma inside, and my tongue was like completely like rigid. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat for weeks. I lost like 10 kilos, and I was very slim. So I was like in bones. And you know what? The only thing that kept me going was you. Because I was like, man, I cannot stay dumb forever, you know. I can't, well, I have to be in bed, and I really couldn't leave the apartment for weeks because I was just too weak after the event. But I had to, after I took a week off, but then I had to work on this highly demanding job, delivering really difficult stuff, right? And it took me so much effort, you know. But at the end, it was just like, hey, this is for my little one. I need to provide. I mean, even if I have an IQ of 5, this 5 has to, I have to stretch it out and make it, you know, work. And you were a big part, 99% of the reason that I was able to just overcome it so fast. And even when I was like so bad, I still was able to perform enough to keep projects going and to keep deliveries on time. And you know, to imagine my work is highly creative and my head just couldn't create anything. I was just in the most basic survival mode possible. But thanks to you, I went through it, and thanks to all this that I'm doing in the meditation and everything, yeah, it's getting much better, much better. And you know what? I was thinking last night, no, 2 nights ago, because I'm doing some meditations from Joe Dispenza where you think in a certain thought about a certain thing you want to accomplish, for example, or you want to have in your life, but you have to couple it with a feeling or with an emotion, with a high emotion like gratitude, love, you know, something positive. And I realized that I don't know if it's because of the accident or even before, but I can think of an emotion and somehow feel the emotion, but I cannot elicit the emotion on itself without the thought. It's like if they're merged together. And somehow through these meditations, I have been able to like to separate them. Like if they were like a sticker, right? It comes attached to the paper, right? And you can't unstick both of them. And that's what the meditations have been doing for me. That I've been able, after the accident, it's like thought, emotion, feeling, perception, everything got merged together because there was not a lot of resources. So it's like everything got like, you know, one thing does everything. And this meditation is allowing me to detach, okay, thought, emotion, feeling, you know, separate them. And when I had to feel a higher emotion and I couldn't, I remembered you. I visualized your face. And that moment, my body was flushed with the highest of emotions. And then I was able to follow through with my meditation and get better. And I'm using that strategy. So, buddy, thank you very much, because you're healing me. You're helping me to teach my body to feel higher emotions without without forcing them mentally, which I think is what is necessary, right? Like nothing that is forced is good. So, yeah, interesting. Anyway, buddy, so that's it for this video. And again, yeah, I'm sure I'm losing heaps of details, but you get the point. The beach was great. The SUP was good. You vocalized like crazy. You called daddy when he was like super far on this, out in the sea. And anything you don't like, you're like a chipmunk with rabies. You're like, but not in a horrible way. It's just like you're making your voice heard. It's not like a tantrum. It's not like that. Not at all. I mean, you're in a good mood, but you're just like, you want to be heard, and you definitely are heard. And we love you, buddy. And you're unusually funny and cute and lovely. Of course, you're my son. And I set the camera wrong, and I have a lot of headspace. But, I just wanted to hurry up because I have a lot of things to do. And I did want to make sure that I got a recording today. And you see, Daddy looks probably a little bit tired. It's a long day. Today we started doing intermittent fasting, Mommy and I, because she wants to lose weight, and I'll accompany her. Like, I'll do the same, so she feels like it's not only herself. And so now we're eating only one meal a day. So I should get really cut these days, and I'm exercising quite a bit, and I'm lifting heavy stuff to rehabilitate my body more and more, and it's going well. So that's it, buddy. I hope it's not very boring video for you. And that's it for now. I love you. Stay strong. Stay yourself. Trust yourself. I'll promise you. I promise you that every day I'll try to honor what is in you, so you never ever lose your north. What your heart tells you is right for you. So you try to please no one but that within you that guides you through life. I love you. Take care, buddy. Big kiss. Love you. Daddy loves you.